Hi. Today in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the lessons that I learned from this Mardi Gras season. You like my fit? This is what I wore one day. Gosh, dressing up is such a fun way to feed your spirit and unlock your intuition. But what I know to be true about Mardi Gras, about these collective experiences that are not only effervescent, but full of joy, creativity, connectivity, is a beautiful bridge to remind me of how the divine is found in the mundane, and how if we really not only look but feed the well of creativity and self-expression, that unlocks our intuition, clearing our throat chakra, connects us to others, and so much more. So before we dive in, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a fourth generation intuitive, and I teach you how to plug back into your innate divine self, your intuition. So if you are new here, hi, welcome. So happy you're here. If you're returning, welcome back. Don't forget to hit subscribe and that little bell notification because I release new videos every single week. And speaking of guides, I'm so excited because I'm going to be doing a workshop March 22nd at 11 a.m. Central on how to communicate with your spirit guides. And one thing that I'm going to do that I'm so excited about is I'm offering this workshop for 50% off for only $20. It's recorded. You have access to it forever. So if you want to have a better relationship with your spirit guides and angels, sign up. You will not regret it. It's so much fun. So I cannot wait to see you there. So let's get into it. So Mardi Gras, it is my favorite holiday of the year. And Mardi Gras every year teaches me something new. Last year, I really learned about Mardi Gras miracles. And this year, the big thing that I recognized, a few things, but the very first thing that was a real big mirror was around manifestation. And when you want something, when you truly want something as a heart-centered desire, there can be so much focus on what you want, but then we can only go so far until we have to let go of our attachment and let the universe meet us halfway. So let me share this with you. So there are a bunch of parades that go on all month, but it builds in intensity until Tuesday. Thursday, there's a parade called Muses. It's an all-female parade, and certain parades have throws. So you'd think of these as beads or socks, magnets. Muses is very famous because in this all-woman crew, they create shoes that they decorate. They're extraordinarily beautiful, thoughtful, and coveted. This year, more than anything, my bestie Haley came to visit, and that was a whole other thing of fun. But we both decided we are gonna get shoes. This is the year I'm gonna get a shoe. I was gonna manifest this shoe. So I put on some of my favorite clothes, got super dressed up, talked to some different people, and I was like, how do I get a shoe? And I heard a hack. If you really want a shoe, one thing that you can do is get a bottle of champagne and treat it with a writer. So, all right, I have set my sights. I have planted the seed of intention in my heart. I am going to get this shoe. We go to the grocery store by my house, Rouse's, get 2 bottles of champagne, check out, and head to the parade route where we meet a bunch of friends. The parade starts rolling, which means it starts going. And of course, I'm like, I'm gonna get my shoe. I have the champagne bottle, and float after float after float go by, trying to pass champagne. There's even a moment where there was a woman that looked like she was handing me a shoe, and then she looked at me and said, no, and then handed it to somebody else. It's okay. Riders often have friends or family on the route that they want to give their throws to, understandably. I was like, okay, of course, no problem. It's just a throw. But after float after float after float, and me trying so hard to get this shoe by any means necessary, I had to take a moment and pay attention. First, my own inner narrative started, my little ego intellect. Am I not worthy of a shoe? What if I don't get a shoe? I hope somebody likes me enough to get a shoe. And then it had to pause. I was like, look at all of this chatter. Am I enjoying the parade? I recognized that I was so focused on what I wanted that I was missing the magic and joy that was right in front of me. I had my best friend beside me. I was my New Orleans best friend, my friends. I was in such this beautiful, vibrant place. And because my focus was so much on what I wanted, I was missing the present moment. So I decided, you know what? Forget the shoe. I'm going to put down the bottle of champagne and I'm going to enjoy the parade, enjoy the moment, and let go of what I wanted to create. Another float rolls by, and now I'm just having more fun. Another float pulls up, stops, and then, hey, tell me something. When a rider pointed to me and gifted me a shoe. The amount of joy, and look at this is a king cake shoe. This is how they are. They're all decorated. The king cake baby kind of fell off, but she's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The amount of joy that I felt when I had that shoe gifted to me was unmatched. My entire body lit up. I was so joyful. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you can see my reel of my reaction when I got a shoe. I am screaming. I am overjoyed. I've made it. And so now I'm like, wow, I'm really enjoying the parade. My energy is raised, and my bestie's like, yes, I'm so happy you got a shoe. Maybe she could get a shoe. Again, both of us unattached. The next float drives by, and this is 1 minute later. Everybody stop, let me get a shoe. I'm hanging back. So I got my shoe, and within 2 moments, Haley got her shoe. All of a sudden, she had a shoe that was handed to her, and we looked at each other in just the most amount of joy. It was such a beautiful moment. And we're dancing and yelling, we got shoes, we did it. So now we're having like the best time at the parade. We are dancing, we're having fun with our friend. We got shoes, check, better than I could have even imagined. And then another float goes by, and what the heck? I wasn't asking, needing another one, because I already got one, but I got another freaking shoe. Look at this one. Oh, gorgeous. And so at that point, I was just in so much gratitude of recognizing and really reminded that when you want something so badly, that we also have to detach with love. Because if we don't, for me, I could just see how I get so hyper-focused that I was, like I said, missing the parade, missing the moment, missing the joy, missing the point. And the moment that I let go and allowed myself to be in flow of whatever showed up, that is when I got not only 1, but 2 shoes. Holy guacamole. So for yourself, whatever it is that you're manifesting, whatever you want to create, this is a real practice in first quieting our emotional body. I first, with my intention set, the big thing that I found was I had all of these emotions, which were honestly, I think just what I was a fear of disappointment. I was afraid of being disappointed. That sparked these old stories, my ego intellect. Oh, am I not worthy? I'm not going to get a shoe. All these different things that were not true and had no basis in the parade whatsoever. So it was a good moment to stop, reflect, and even just notice how sometimes when emotions come in, all of a sudden our head wants to make sense and pulls from the past to project into the future around a lot of outworn beliefs that when we take a moment and pause can have, for me, had me say, okay, I can check that I have a fear of disappointment. Let's get grounded in the present where intuition resides, that wasn't what was happening. I could be open to expectation as a good thing, but I could also enjoy what was. That allowed me to acknowledge the emotion without implanting and getting caught in an old belief pattern that no longer served me and I know isn't true. And that moment that I had that practice, that reflection, was when all of it came in. So for yourself, if you're trying to manifest and it's all of these old emotions, I'm not going to get it. Stop, pause, attend to the sensation, to the feeling, practice some self-compassion instead of going into the story. This is how we create new beliefs in our subconscious mind that create a new energetic alignment for things to come in. Second, recognize that we can be present. Sometimes, most times, your intuition, actually all the time, your intuition, your guides reside in the present moment, right here, right now. It's the only place you can listen and be attuned. So anytime that you're in that pause, come back. Is that true? Does that resonate? And allowing for goodness to come in. So that was my big Mardi Gras lesson, which happened a Thursday. My second, real quick, was how important it is to play. One of my things that I've been creating, if you follow me, are kazoos. I've created all of these kazoos to pass out on Mardi Gras Day. Here's my little card, the kazoo boo. I was the bubble nebula. I had bubbles and these kazoos. And I've been loving bringing them different places. We went to a party called Mom's Ball, and my best friend and I were not digging the music. So she started interpretive dancing, and I just started improv, having fun, narrating her beautiful dance move of this super silly story. And it was so fun to recognize that when you're in moments of joy and flow and play and effervescence and lightness, of how quickly your intuition, how quickly your spontaneity, how quickly your trust in the moment of what comes next shows up. I mean, I sing multi-minute songs that were this practice of intuitive listening, being present, trusting what was going to come up, trusting the joy, and also of noticing that in that and sharing that, of how it brought so much laughter, humor, raising our vibration until we just had the most magic night, such food for your spirit. So find your playmates to play with. Find your nonsense, make it a priority, find your kazoo. And last, with the same throws, this is my big thing at Mardi Gras Day. I was passing them out, I made a bunch. And of course, I'm starting to pass them out. And then I get nervous. I'm like, oh, how do I approach people? What do I do? Just in my head. At the moment that I was like, okay, again, I'm in my head, I'm overthinking. Pause. Connect to the joy of giving. And handing out these kazoos to different people was such a highlight. One person that I gave a kazoo to was dressed as the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. I gave a kazoo to. He actually was a didgeridoo player. And what started playing it was like, wow, this is so wonderful. I love this so much. And then he paused and pulled out a poem from the original Alice in Wonderland and read it to me and my friends. And that was also such a gift. So here's also a reminder to share your art, share your creation, share what you love with generosity. That is an instant way to connect to the subtle realms, to bring you into the present, to connect you with the magic, to the joy, to your community. And that is where like your guides and angels come in, where your intuition comes in. Where can we create space for joy, space for play, space for nonsense, space for beauty? That is not only food, but is what connects us all. Creativity connects. So a kazoo boo. A kazoo as special as you. So those are just some of my Mardi Gras lessons. I could probably do 1,000, but I, again, want to encourage you to just always check in with your spirit, see what feeds you, bring yourself back to the present moment, check in and ask, is this a old outworn pattern? Can I pause? Even if, is that true? And then open up to expectation as with curiosity, because that's where we find magic. That's where we connect. That's where we find the divine. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I am so grateful. And yeah, don't forget, sign up for my guides workshop. Head over to my site. You can take your spirit type quiz. I have all sorts of free resources and tools to help support you on your journey. So I've said to you all my love. Bye.